Welcome in everybody to my experience with the BlackLand mod. We start out in the Sleeping Giant Inn where we have to read the spell tome Teleport to BlackLand. You can only use it in the Sleeping Giant Inn, and so that is where our quest begins.
Fresh batch in, sir. What can I do for you, friend?
Halt! Who are you? What?
Who are you? How did I get here?
So, the old man isn't crazy after all. Follow me.
Should I be the Dragonborn for this?
Let me just
Have
do your
dragon
paperwork
armor.
so you don't have any problems at BlackLand. Note that you can't use the teleport orb to travel back. Unfortunately, at this time, Riverwood is the only available destination. Here's your
Okay,
papers.
understandable.
You should visit the Jarl and ask her to sign them. Then return to me.
Papers added. Welcome to BlackLand. Let's go.
Trouble?
Right.
Whoa!
Armor made of
This
dragon
is
skins.
gorgeous.
By the gods, what wouldn't I do for a set of that?
So the map is fairly large. I mean, it looks large, but it really isn't very large. It's pretty deceiving. Everything is pretty condensed. A cool feature about this mod is it has the option for destructible items, so things degrade over time. I did not choose to play this way because I didn't know what to expect gameplay-wise. You talk to Black, and he sells you a potion to make items destructible and to get them back. Here we find a man named Racer. He lost his home in a dragon attack. The Jarl won't replace his home because of what he did before the dragon attack. I'll let you guys decide or figure that out if you want to play this after this video. The Jarl of BlackLand will give you some quests, and you can also help out Racer by helping out the Jarl. Also, she gives you information on Goliath, who is a follower, a really big follower. So we made it to the Colosseum, which the Jarl told us to go clear so they can bring entertainment to the people. I ran into some skeevers that were giving me a real hard time. I just started this playthrough. I was a level 1, maybe a level 2 by this time. But these skeevers were so overpowered, it was insane. So the majority of this playthrough I played on the novice difficulty because everything is just so hard. So if I'll let this play out, and you'll see just how tough it is even on the easiest difficulty.
Even on novice, they are incredibly strong. This is not going to work. What else could possibly be in here? I don't like that. Kill the creature. Uh-oh, I hear Spriggans. These things are gonna destroy me. Oh my goodness.
At this point, I realized I had made a mistake. This mod is definitely too hard for a level 1 character. So I went back and took an old character I had, that's level 70, and I began from this same spot. Even at level 70, this mod is ridiculously hard. These Spriggans are way overpowered, and they end up killing me right here. I'm going to speed a lot of these fight scenes up because these enemies are super tanky and nobody wants to watch enemies just take sword hits left and right. So this guy that I talked to now, he is voice acted. Almost all these characters are voice acted. This guy is awful to talk to. The recording of his voice is very hard. Um, I'll let you guys listen to it just a little bit.
I'm not giving you anything until someone helps me. I've asked for help a dozen times and nobody came, so don't count on me.
So that guy wanted me to kill a monkey for him in order for me to use his lumber yard. So here we go. Going to kill a monkey.
Oh! Scared me. Alright. Oh, we don't need. This is the monkey that Apostle Mirror was saying, or whatever his name is. Apple Stormy.
So after killing the monkey, as it is stated, we get access to the lumberyard, where you can actually cut down trees, which is pretty darn cool. And after you cut them down, you can plant new trees and they grow back in a few days. So it's good for the environment too. And we need these for a few quests later on.
It says clean it up.
So this guy gives a really hard quest. You have to be stealthy and kill a bunch of bandits at a castle. You have to do it without being seen, and it's nearly impossible to one-hit kill these people. So here's my attempt at it. I sped it up so it goes faster because I spent about 4 times as long on this little bit than what you guys are seeing. Everybody is just so tanky. I can't stress that enough about this mod. This guy gave me a quest. He's the blacksmith. He gave me a quest to find his missing wife. I never figured out where she is. I assume she got glitched out later in the series here. So yeah, I never learned where she went. It seems like she went off and, I don't know, disappeared. We'll never know. So here we're going to have the Colosseum that we rebuilt, or refortified, I guess, to bring more entertainment to the townspeople. It is real loud in there. Let me tell you that. So if you want, lower your volume. It's pretty darn loud.
Yes, continue.
After that first fight, you get basically unlimited waves, it seems like. I made it to wave 11, I think. But I'm gonna speed up the rest of this fight. At one point, you get to fight a cow. Besides that, nothing too interesting with the Colosseum. It was too loud. I literally had to take my headset off to be able to play it without blowing my eardrums off. So this lady gives us
You look fine considering you're an
a place on our
Argonian.
map to go called the Water
Are you a
Temple.
friend of the Argonians?
When we get there, we have to go through
Only
a
the lusty Argonian
trial
maid, yeah.
and
Yeah, I
basically
guess I am.
Good.
try to get through this
Not all
maze
treat us well, you
or
know.
this dungeon, and it's completely filled with water for the most part.
You're talking
It was
about
very
slavery, I
tricky.
Yes,
suppose.
and other things.
Frustrating
We're
at
not just
times,
brainless beasts.
but I eventually
We
figured it
have our
out.
culture.
Before we can find the rest of the words of power, decided to go to the Water Temple and try out this maze trial thing that these Argonians seem to care a lot about. Now, this you have to go in naked with nothing but your body, essentially. You can see I'm naked right there, floating in the water. And I've got no weapons except for Wuthrad.
Breath of air.
Wuthrad, however you pronounce it, I don't know.
Oh, that drained it.
So, this was very, very challenging. I did get stuck at one point because it was glitched for me for some reason, but the glitch cleared itself and I was able to get through the door. But so this whole thing is
Some water. Or found some
a lot of levers, a lot of draining water, a lot of Draugr Death Lords. It was very challenging to do
lever
unarmed and or with light armor and whatever weapons I can scavenge. After we get past the first lever door, there's some Draugr that are pretty darn tough. That is the theme of this mod. Overpowered enemies. And all I have right now is Wuthrad and my skin. It took a while to run away and heal and run away and heal, and it was pretty rough, I'll tell you that. After we beat those guys, I got to pick some stuff up. Was able to get some better weapons, and made our way to the next level. This battle was the hardest battle I've ever fought in Skyrim, hands down. I could not figure out how to survive. They just kept shouting me down, so I was able to turn into a werewolf, and even then, I barely survived. It was intense. I had to take a little break after I finished, because I was like, I'm too exhausted. I can't do this anymore. So after that room, you dive down into that grate, and you have to flip 4 levers to open up a door so you can get back into that room, but one of the levers that you flip open up a door from that room that leads on to the rest of the cave system, or tunnel system.
Other side.
And I got a little too confident in my breath holding ability, so I had to do this twice. I thought that maybe I could do this without getting my breath.
Come on, baby, don't die on me now.
I don't know why I was so dumb.
Duh.
But I've never died underwater before, so this
Damn it.
was a learning experience.
Okay.
Nothing seems to have happened. I'm gonna check these sides. Where we first went, see if maybe one of those doors opened. Yes.
to the room that you went down into that tunnel for, that opens up this area, which I got stuck in due to a glitch. That's also my boy Slaughterfish Rex. He's a pretty cool slaughterfish, but on this side right here, that door underneath is supposed to open after you kill Slaughterfish Rex. And it just didn't work for me the first time. So I had to reload, figure out why it wasn't working, just to find out it was glitched. And when I reloaded, it worked right away. After you defeat Slaughterfish Rex, the door on the blue side is supposed to open up and you can just walk through. There's another little lever system area that you have to do before you get to this tower. And this tower brings you straight up onto a little beach. And that beach is the best beach I've ever seen, because I was down in these tunnels for about 3 hours. It was awful, but it was so much fun. And you get this cool Argonian hood, which has 0 armor, but it gives you 50 times health regeneration, which is pretty awesome.
Go to the temple, maybe.
Here at
See if
the
we can learn a
BlackLand
new
Temple, we
Well, hello there.
talked to the priest dude.
Who the fuck said
I
that?
forget his name,
Oh, Lazarus. Hi.
but
So you
Lazarus.
keep the faith up,
Lazarus
I
is his
humbly
name,
tried
and he gives us a
even
quest
harder recently.
to clear out the catacombs.
How come?
And the fun thing about the catacombs is
No,
I
no.
wasn't aware
People's faith is okay.
that
Problem
each
is
time
the
you go
temple is
down there,
haunted.
it changes. I wasn't made aware of that until
Haunted
after
with ghosts?
Yes,
my
it's
first
a problem. They are
run
dangerous
down
and scare
there.
people. I've locked the
So
catacombs, but I don't know what else
I
to
was
do.
just wandering down there for what seemed like an hour until I
Maybe I
figured
can
I
help.
picked up a note on the
Maybe
ground
you
and then
can.
left,
Here's
came
the
back.
key. Check the
Luckily,
catacombs and
it
see
went
if you can
to the
rid us of
correct
them.
spot that it
Thank
needed
you.
to be, and I was able to do it pretty quick from there. We make our way down to the catacombs, and we are greeted by
Oh, it's a little girl
a
ghost.
red little girl. Her name is Sarah.
Oh!
She does not want us there.
Gracious.
So now we gotta find out what is going on. After traversing the maze dungeon
Sarah.
there
Talk to Sarah.
for about an hour and a half,
Broken
I
Skull
clipped that all out
Swordsman.
because it was a lot of wandering around, looking lost. We find Sarah
You're
again,
the kid.
and her dead body.
Wild
Turns
lady.
out,
Why is your corpse here?
Sarah
What happened?
is Lazarus's daughter, and he had killed her.
Lazarus is your father?
So now, we gotta go figure out
He's the
why
one that
he
asked
killed
for
her.
my help. Oh my
Get
goodness,
revenge?
what is going on?
Or is it just?
Well, hello there.
And here we talk to Lazarus, who essentially says he was possessed, and it's not his fault, and he doesn't
Sarah, care to explain?
want to be blamed for this. I wanted to cut him down right at the very sight, personally. But he has me go and talk to some lady,
That's not what
and
she
then
said.
that lady says, yes, he was possessed, and there's an Oblivion Gate, and we have to go close that Oblivion Gate. So that's where we're off to next. So here we are at the Oblivion Gate. It was, again, pretty challenging. Had to figure out some levers. This mod loves its levers, that's for sure. And a lot of them are very hidden, or you don't exactly know what they do until you leave the lever and go find out what the lever did. Not all the time does it make sense, but I figured it out for the most part. And we're going up the mountain, and we're going to get the And we're going to get the Sigil Stone to deactivate the Oblivion Gate.
Need something?
An Oblivion
So
Gate,
that's
not
pretty
one
much the
Christ
end
centered 200
of
years ago.
this quest. By closing the Oblivion Gate, nobody can be possessed again.
You are Ben.
This has been the most enjoyable quest in this mod, because you get to go back to the Oblivion Gate, and who doesn't like that? And here we have the real finale, is daughter and father
Oh, she's green or
meeting
blue
again.
this time.
The daughter knows why he killed her, and everyone's forgiven, no harm done,
See if Racer
happy
needs
ending.
anything else.
Can I help you?
And so
I see
we
that you've been
meet
working a lot.
our good friend
What
Racer
kind of
again.
valuable thing? It's hard for me to
We
ask
collected
for
some
it.
logs for him
I
so
need
he could
coin.
build up his
A lot of
property, because
coin.
I've done enough with the Jarl to get him back on good
About
graces.
11,000.
And then we have the option to give him 11,000 gold
Thank you.
to
Thank you.
fix up
Please
the
thank
rest of
my
his
wife.
house. And with that, we
There's
also
a
get
house in the
our
woods.
own house.
Thanks,
It's
Jordan.
the bungalow on the water,
It's yours.
and we get to rebuild that as well. Same principle
Yes,
as
you can.
in
Just go
vanilla
there and
Skyrim.
start doing it.
Go to somebody
For the final part,
and
you have to speak
pay
with
for all your
Candido at the market.
decorations and stuff. It's a cute little home.
Welcome to your new property.
So here is the bungalow,
Do you want to start the rebuild
the
process?
new house
Of
in
course.
BlackLand. We do
Get 2
have to
tree logs.
build
Oh,
it,
fucking
so we have to go
gross.
back to the lumber yard and get some more wood, and then we have to come back and buy all
Hope I still
the
have my axe.
decoration from one of the vendors in the market.
It's a bungalow.
And here's our bungalow, all built, all decorated on the inside.
It's just its
I
name.
found it a little odd that
Alright,
there's
I
a
gotta-
bench
I
right
hate this.
between the
What the-
beds. It's kind of an odd place. Another
There.
thing I noticed
Between the
is
beds? Oh,
coming up here shortly, the weapon rack is very volatile. I tried activating it to maybe pick up those weapons
No.
and put my own on there.
Oh god.
Turns out it only can hold your weapons and you can't get them back. So I had to reload there and never touched that again.
Trobus.
Here at this tavern, we meet
Seems
an
you
old
know about
feller
me.
named Petrobus. The townspeople says he's crazy, which he loves dragons for sure.
Here?
He
Blackland?
gives us a staff, and we are to go to the old stone god's resting place and talk to
Alright, this guy's fucking
the
nuts.
stones. Sounds pretty crazy, but
Where are you
we'll
going?
have to see if he's crazy or not.
It's one of these slow speakings.
Among the old stone gods, we find a golem
What can I
birthstone.
possibly do to help a
And
stone?
let me tell you, these guys talk so slow. It was very, very difficult to sit here for at least 15 minutes just to start my quest with them. This quest is the longest quest. I think it's a 3-parter. So we're going to get on with the first part.
By bringing something to me.
Whoa! Alright.
So he basically says I have to go
Let's
and
go, Gollum.
find his brother, which is another one of these old stone gods. And this one here, he is going to give me a shout. It's called Earthquake. And I can
Feel
move
better,
boulders
Gollum
and
Birthstone?
break walls with it. It's really handy. There are 3 words to it, hence why there's 3
Equip that.
quests to go along with it.
No, not you, Cortana.
So the golem sent
I
me
need to
to this
deactivate
cave, and there it says so much debris,
Oh.
so I have to use Earthquake to break that all apart. And now we have to go find Mukra. This is Mukra's cave.
Alright.
And we have to go and kill Mukra and
No.
free Gollum's
Shield.
brother.
To Mukra Cave. Let's go.
This cave was pretty tricky.
Secrets are in
Well,
you, cave.
it wasn't supposed to be tricky. I was just a dumbass when I was doing this. And there's a lot of twists and turns. You have to blow a lot of stuff up with this casket of
What are you doing?
exploding
The battle?
black powder. A lot of underwater stuff.
Maybe you should dismiss your follower.
So here we are in the cave. I spent a lot of time in this cave. Trial and error, trying to figure out what the heck am I supposed to do. I eventually found the exploding barrel, but I had no idea what to do with it at the time.
Should I save before we do this?
There was a note said it worked underwater, so I figured I have to use it underwater,
This bomb is amazing. It even works underwater.
because why else would there be a note there? But then I couldn't figure out what underwater meant, because all the water that was in that little bit was shallow enough to where you don't have to go underwater. Then I realized that there's this big hunk of rock there, use Earthquake on it, and it unleashed a bunch of Storm Atronachs. I am shocked I didn't die, not once during this. I was pretty impressed by myself. These Storm Atronachs were very tough, and I ended up accidentally dropping a bunch of my health potions. But I still survived somehow. Just barely. Had just enough potions. Vilcus did a whole bunch for me. After I cleared them, I still didn't know where to go. Didn't know if I had to blow this whole cave up with Earthquake. But
So beyond lost.
we eventually figured out that
Unless that disturbs something over here.
when I blew up that rock
Oh,
formation
look at that.
there, it opened up this door here. And in this door,
Hey, I didn't need to use that bomb.
we go down,
Yet.
and I get completely lost. Just
Here soon.
totally bamboozled by what is going on. And actually, right here, under me, right now, is a hole that I'm supposed to dive into. And I just can't understand that. And I just keep going back and forth, trying to blow things up. There's a door in one of these little divots there that I think I have to blow up, so I spend a good hour just trying to figure that out, how to open that door. So I called it a night, gave it a good night's sleep, looked it up on YouTube, and figured out the process. So here we do figure out a solution. I looked it up on somebody else's YouTube from about 4 years ago. They had it laid out very nice. I was just missing the hole underneath the thing of water there. So I figured that out, had to swim down, blow up a pillar, and that drains out all of the water. Somehow. The physics are kind of there, but not really. So there we planted the bomb, swim up, because I'm going to drown, and we can see the water's falling. And prior to this, off camera, I had finished Vilcus's quest, so he's no longer following me. I did that so we can get Goliath later on in the story here. After some twists and turns, just a little bit more, some lever pulls, we meet Mukra, and he's kind of a douchebag, and he's got one of Gollum's brothers, and he basically leaves us for dead. He runs off after activating Mukra's, or not Mukra. He activates Gollum's brother, and then he seals the only exit. So I have to find more of those bombs right in that chest. and all these pillars. We gotta blow them up. Blow the place up. It was pretty awesome. Lots of chaos. I'm shocked this didn't break the game, to be honest. Yeah, so after all those pillars fell, the portal, or the shield there, opened up, and we were able to leave. So right about here, I accidentally kicked my internet, and I lost connection. So I lost about, I don't know, 10 minutes of gameplay, but you continue on, and you find Mukra, and he tries to kill you, essentially. And when you best him, he becomes a little
Oh,
bitch,
I don't think so.
as always. And he's like, sayonara, guys. I won't let you
Mukra.
deliver the killing blow. So there's more to his story,
Deliver the final blow.
clearly, with that.
I don't think I'm staying to see that.
And right about here, he
We'll
will
meet
vanish.
again, Dovahkiin.
Sorry if you can hear my
Like
dog
a little
whining.
bitch. So after we defeated Mukra, we collected a book called Thunderstruck. It had no words in it, and we delivered it back to the Golem Birthstone. Once again, he talks very slow, very, very annoying, and that is the end of this quest. And we get a spell tome called Thunderstruck. It's basically like Lightning Bolt, clearly. It's pretty powerful, though. It'll shock an enemy, and then it'll bounce to another enemy. And with that, that brings us to Goliath's
Halfway there.
quest.
30 more
We are
seconds.
to sit on the bench in front of a very old tree until he decides to take a seat. And then he will
You need some. Ooh.
ask you if you want to go and find out who his real parents are.
Orcs. He was told he was raised by orcs. And I'm not
So
sure if
Goliath's
glory.
father is located on an island north
This giant.
of the map,
Hell
the
yeah.
northmost part of the map. And his father is a nice, friendly giant. It's very wholesome. That explains why Goliath is such a big dude. In time, I'm sure he will grow to be a giant. Or
You can make them accept.
maybe not, because his mom is a Nord. So imagine that, a giant mating with a Nord woman. Kinda gross. But hey, we're not here to kink shame. Yeah, so Goliath gets a big bone hammer, which is pretty awesome. I tried to take it,
What?
but
We have to kill them all.
it doesn't let me. It's Goliath only.
This looks a little higher than the other.
So if we head up onto this mountain that's right by the old stone gods, we can find an NPC by the name of Solid.
Look at that.
He seems to be a ghost or some sort of something. And if you stare at the sun, he will talk to you, and he will give you one spell called Sun and another spell called Eclipse. The Sun is basically your candlelight, but brighter, and the Eclipse will cancel it. So it's basically a light switch. So here is another temple. We get to talk to this lady who was killed. We actually get to see her death, which is pretty cool.
Is this what happened?
You lost?
No more than you.
A strong one. I like that.
I'm on a mission. Leave me alone.
Your mission is to give us your coin and shut up, bitch.
I don't have any, and even if I had, I'd rather die.
Offer accepted.
She stood no chance. So then we get to talk to her ghost, and we start her quest, which we have to go into this temple, which is just a giant cave, and we have to light all the fires. We also have to take her body and bury it properly. So once we get inside this temple cave thing, there's some bandits on 3 spires, and there's this pillar here that we can blow up. Luckily, I had 1 extra bomb, so I could use that to knock over that pillar, cross that, and there's a path to go down. And after you go down that path, there's a hag raven, some spiders. We just kill all them. A troll as well. Cross this river here on this log, and there's some spiders and another hag raven. Kill them, and after we're done with that, we find ourselves at a dead end. Now this dead end is important because we have 1 word of shout for the earthquake, or 1 word of power for the earthquake. And when we use that on where we need to clear the dead end, it says it is too weak. So we're stuck here for now until we learn the rest of the words of power. Left that temple cave thing, we come to the Hall of the Dead to bury that ancient woman. And we bury her safely, soundly, and we find King Kiros. He's a ghost, and he's stuck in Ghostville. He's a bad man. Trigger warning if you do plan on playing this. He's use of the R word, the RA word. If you're triggered by that, probably don't do this quest. This guy's a bad dude, and he wants us to free him from Ghostville. I chose not to do this because he deserves to suffer in Ghostville, so we didn't continue on with this quest. Although I do believe you fight a giant skeleton, which does sound pretty cool, but I didn't do it for reasons already said. So that leaves that. We have to go find other words of power. So back at the BlackLand village, at the cemetery, we find Leah, a Khajiit, and she has a problem with missing corpses. Leah told me to go talk to this guy named Judas, and because he showed up in the town, and then the body started going missing. And Judas claims to be hunting whatever is stealing the corpses, and he thinks it's a beast that is coming into town and stealing the corpses. So we're gonna go hunt this beast with Judas. So Judas and I go to the bear lair, where there's spriggans, wolves, bears, oh my. And I've already cleared this cave once, and it's expansive. And there's so much wildlife that tries to kill you. But for this quest, basically you just need to go straight. And there's a group of 3 bears, and one of them is the beast that you are sought off to kill. After you kill the beast, you go back to Leah, and she tells you to come back in a few days just to make sure. And Leah's dead. In her note, she says that she was waiting for Judas to surprise him, and now she's dead. So we are going to wait for Judas to see what he has to say for himself. So we find Judas at the scene of the crime. He is the beast.
And why are you so surprised?
No, just kidding. He's a necromancer. And he is going to take us to his necromancy lair, where we meet a bunch of necromancers, some cute pets.
How could you possibly tell?
My order is
Lots of
powerful.
undead
If
slaves.
you wish, you could learn a lot with
It's a pretty interesting place. At the necromancer's palace, dungeon, whatever you want to call it, we meet Jose, and he wants you to clear out his catacombs because they are locked out of him, and they are apparently not strong enough to do it themselves. So he sends the Dragonborn to clean up his mess. So we make our way to the catacomb through this coffin door. Pretty neat. Might be the bane of my existence, to be honest.
Death Lords in here? I'm gonna be pissed.
And we enter the catacomb, where it is basically a Draugr lair, as always. These Draugr are pretty easy. There is one boss fight with a dragon priest. That one got a little intense. Right after we get past that room of Draugr, we find the room with the dragon priest and all of his little minions. This battle was pretty intense. I don't think I died at all doing it, but there was a lot going on. There was at least 10 Draugr plus the dragon priest, all their Atronachs. It was quite intense. After the dragon priest, we go through a couple more hallways with Draugr and some frost spiders. I had to clip through the door there because it wasn't opening because this Draugr was on the other side. Then you reached the bathhouse. Jose's little perverted, naked
Who are you and why are you naked?
bathhouse.
You want something
Isabel.
from me?
Yeah, I want to know why
And you
you're
have
naked.
to unbar a door,
Why is everybody?
and then
Oh boy.
your quest in this catacomb is complete. Now here's where the fun begins.
What a perv.
You're done with the quest. You have to leave.
Dude probably can't even get it up anyway.
And in my experience, this door does not open up. It is supposed to just fall open. And it did not for me. And this quest is abandoned, or this mod is abandoned. And I'm playing on Xbox, so I can't just console command open or whatever. But this is a game-breaking bug, because you have to complete this quest to get the third word of power from the old stone gods. And it affects all the other quests that I have not completed yet. So there lies the end of BlackLand. I was pretty upset because I was really having a good time. It was very fun, very challenging. Unfortunately, it had to end short. But this was my first quest mod, my first mod ever in general. I had a good time. I would say 7 out of 10. If you're a PC user, you might want to give this a try. But Xbox user, I would not, because you're going to get so far and come so close and you get stuck here. There's no way to fix it. But with that, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed. This is also my very first video. So if you like it, be a friend, tell a friend, like and subscribe. Thanks, guys.